I don't know if you heard the comments. Rick Tocchet was speaking about the game, and he took some time out to actually praise the Jets and what he saw, and specifically singled out the power play. Said, like his quote to paraphrase was like, "We got to be more like them and do what they're doing." What's it like as a coach when you hear other coaches kind of praising what you guys have going on? That's got to be, I know, like in the journalism industry, we like when colleagues praise our work. So I got to think it's similar for you guys, right?
Yeah, there's two sides of that. I mean, what do they say? Imitation is the biggest form of flattery. It's one thing, but then at the same time, you don't want anybody copying what you're having some success doing. And so when you see some things of other teams, other groups doing some similar things, it's sort of like, maybe the cat's out of the bag, maybe it isn't. But it's the same thing I've done, the same thing any other coach has done. When you see success from certain groups, you try to identify what those pieces are and interlay them into your group, and how does that translate into the guys you have and the skill sets that they bring, and mesh that together. And the biggest thing for me is our guys have bought in, and they've sort of accepted not different roles, but different ways of thinking, attacking, approaching it. And so far the results have been good. We're just past the halfway pole, so there's still a long way to go. But now you see teams being real deliberate and making sure they're not taking many penalties against us, out of the Colorado model. Yeah. But it's no different than any other group that's had some success. I'm always looking at the guys that are scoring power play goals and trying to figure out why, and is that something we could implement. So.
No doubt now there's lots of video out there of what you guys do that teams would be pre-scouting. So when you see a night like last night and those guys are zipping the puck around like they are and score that goal, must be a source of pride, because you must have to be trying to counter what you expect the counter is going to be in terms of teams prepping to face you guys, right?
Yeah, you always try and think that one step ahead, and that's sort of where we like to work together as a staff. It's sort of, okay, this is how this team likes to kill penalties. They know we're coming in, and this is sort of the things we might throw at them. What would there be response? I would ask Dean Chenault those questions. If I'm coming at you here, what's your response to it? And so I'd like to think we can get ourselves a step ahead of that. And our guys have done a real good job recognizing the movement that needs to happen when something is taken away. They've only got 4 guys out there, so there has to be another option.
And just one more from me, but to an untrained eye, it looks like having a guy like Gabe Vilardi and just what he does, so much of the power play can run through him, because he's often dictating what's happening next, whether he's taking it or dishing it off. So have you had a player like a Gabe Vilardi before, or what have you maybe learned about Gabe and what he can do on that power play for you?
Well, I think it's important in having skill in different areas of your power play. And so when you look at it, we've got skill coming from top down. And with a guy like Gabe, you've got skill coming from the bottom up. Maybe it's an economic study that works or doesn't work, I'm not sure. But, in years past, I've really felt the importance of watching penalty kills sort of evolve into the things they've been doing, whether it's a top-down system or a diamond system or a checkpoint system. There has to be another way to attack. And, in Los Angeles, we had Dustin Brown, who's a big, strong guy who can make some plays down there. Drake Batherson in Ottawa, who's very, very similar to Gabe. He's a guy who can shoot the puck extremely well. He's a guy who can make plays in tight areas. He's got a real good vision, much like Gabe does. If you take Gabe away, then he's gonna find a little window, and that happens with Fly on the other side. It happens with Nino down at the goal line. I feel like you have to have more of an answer than just hammering pucks through at certain people, and because guys are committed to blocking shots, and so it is one way to sort of force them to defend a different angle.
So when teams are so careful not to take penalties, like the last several games, how helpless do you kind of feel standing there at the bench with this weapon on the shelf that you can't use?
Well, we're always focused on our 5-on-5 game, and because it is such a it's a bigger picture piece of our team. But we talk about it in our power play meetings that the guys that are in there are largely our possession players, and it is upon them to attack nets, attack the inside, hang on to pucks, force the defender into a situation where he has to take a penalty to keep you from scoring. And if we get certain games where we're stuck on the outside, a lot can be said for another team being disciplined, but at the same time we look at it and saying, can we do more to force them into situations where a penalty might be their only answer?
Yeah. Is the percentage success, is that kind of the ultimate measurement of the power play?
It's sort of funny. I'm not really sure. It's never been, it's always the one that everybody looks at in terms of judging where you're sitting. But for me, it's key moments. What is your power play generating key moments? And this becomes key moments in tight games, key moments late in game, key moments in playoffs and playoff series. Those are the moments that are really critical. We talk about being a recession-proof power play so that we're always having an answer to create momentum, whether it's the first group out, the second group out, or the third shift out. We'd like to make sure we maintain some momentum so our team can follow up on that.
Alex Iafallo's guy sort of seems to make any line he plays on better. I mean, as a coach, what does it mean to have a guy who's can go up and down the lineup so freely and also, can produce but also defend the way that he does? Well,
you'd like all your players to have that sort of two-way ability to move and play different roles. It's incredibly valuable because as the season moves along, different guys are in, different guys are out, different situations call for stepping into a role, and guys that have that flexibility are absolutely invaluable to a hockey team. Every team has them. Al is one of our guys who does that.
Just housekeeping. Ehlers was maintenance today?
Yeah.
Should be good?
Yeah.
And Fleury, we got a timetable on
No timetable yet. They haven't brought me into that meeting just yet.
that's the A group.
Yeah.